Welcome to the July episode of Laja TV. I'm your host, Vandana Joshil, and I am so happy to be back. I wait for the first of every month because there is so many amazing women that I get to meet every time I do a Laja TV. And what makes these women amazing? It makes them amazing because these are women who have done something remarkable in their field and something that is absolutely noteworthy. And why is it special? Because these women, like you and me, are regular women. They are not super women. They have not come here with wings. They do not have any extra superpower. What makes them special is the fact that they are willing to go the extra mile to achieve something, to fulfill their dreams, to do what they want to do. So today again, I have a special guest with me. But before that, let me quickly introduce you to Lajja. Laja TV is a segment under Laja, and Laja is India's first forum that works on women's development, learning, growth, and self empowerment. The key here is self empowerment because we believe that unless you want to empower yourself, unless you want to do something to differentiate yourself from the rest of the world, there is nothing much we can do. It's like taking the horse to the water. We cannot make the horse drink water. We can take him there. So that is what Lajat does. We give you a space to grow. We give you a space to learn. We give you a space to talk about yourself. That is done through Laja Talks. And we have vocational skills training. We have skills development. We have monthly coffee meets. We have monthly learning sessions for our Laja Growth Platform members. We have chapters across Maharashtra, actually five cities in Maharashtra. We have chapters across Gujarat, five cities in Gujarat. We have a chapter in Delhi. We have a chapter in Hyderabad. And we are always open to opening up chapters in other places. Idea being that if you are ready to call us there, we will come there. We will try and help as many women as we possibly can, and we will do the best that we possibly can. Laja has been doing this. Laja has been helping women since 2014. Since 2017, we also came out with our yearly conclave called Tattva. And every year, the focus has been on something very unique to a woman and her life. This year, Tattva 2024 comes under the theme Udan, and we're going to be talking about women entrepreneurs. We're going to be helping you. We're going to be having mentors on board. We're going to help you even set up your businesses. For more details, keep following us. Now, let me come back to the guest today. Today's guest is very special. She is an adventure junkie. Yes, you can call her that. She is somebody who is one of the rare adventurers in India who balances work and life with perfect zeal. She is a hardcore mountaineer and an international swimmer. She is also a senior media professional, having worked for 14 plus years in advertising and the media planning industry. Let me welcome on screen Dimple. Please put your hands for Dimple Rao. Dimple, can we have your video on? And while she's doing that, let me quickly introduce you to her. Dimple, let me spotlight her also. Yes, here is Dimple for you. So let me quickly introduce her. Dimple has already climbed four of the seven summits. She has already waved the Indian flag on the highest mountain of South America, which is Mount Aconcagua in Adnes. She'll tell you the proper pronunciation. North America, yes. She's climbed Mount Denali in Alaska. She's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, Mount Elbrus in Russia. She's won the National Masters bronze in freestyle swimming in 2013 and participated in the World Masters Championship in Kazan, Russia in 2015. Dimple has participated and successfully accomplished some of the biggest endurance free swimming competitions in 5 kilometers and 10 kilometers. Her zeal for health and fitness is par excellence. You can already see that. She also holds a diploma in basic and advanced mountaineering from India's premier Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. While not on expeditions, you can find her anywhere in Mumbai, in the waters, or in Sayadris exploring hills or other national parks. Now, before I start asking Dimple questions, let me also tell you something more about Dimple. Dimple comes from a regular Gujarati Marwari family. She's born and brought up in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and has a Marwari, blood running through her veins. She was raised in a big Marwari family with roots back in Rajasthan, and we have a lot of Marwari women telling us that, we come from families which have a lot of rules and regulations. I think most families have that. But we have Dimple here who comes from a Rajasthani family, Marwari family, and yet here she is doing what she loves doing. So, welcome, Dimple. Welcome to Laja TV. I'm so glad you accepted our invite, and I'm looking forward to having a lovely conversation with you.
Thank you for having me here. But all those introductions that you've given about me, I think it's too heightened. Of course, I've done all of this, but it's more like, of course, it all happened and I did it. But somewhere, like you rightly said, we're all normal, ordinary women who has the day when you wake up in the morning. It's like a regular day, and you have to like kind of shape the day, and yeah, it's like a normal day. So we are a normal women, and it's. I think I would like to be called that more, and we all are like that. So yes, I mean, I
Absolutely.
hope I be able to tell something or share something that helps your audience.
You will be able to tell us a lot. Why, Dimple? Because you've done something that most of us haven't done. So at least those experiences will teach us something. Because every experience teaches you, good, bad, any experience will teach you something. And if it's a good experience, you take away all the greatness from it. And if it's a bad experience, then you know next time I shouldn't be doing this. So that's the idea behind experiences. You learn
Yeah.
from it no matter what. So let me
Yeah.
ask you the very first question. What prompted you to take up mountaineering? Why the hills? Why the mountains?
Well, mountaineering is something that comes to you. It's not about you just kind of plan about it and then choose it. It never happens. Mountains are not easy, and no ordinary person would like to kind of plan and take it up. It doesn't happen. I have seen very rare people, maybe in the Western countries, many a times when they live in the mountains. I mean, those people begin to
Yes.
climb mountains right early in their life. But
Hmm.
otherwise, most, even world over, it's not about India. World over, people don't kind of choose it and do it. It just comes to you. So in my life, it just came. I mean, I was trekking in Sahyadris more often, and I understood. I mean, I always knew that nature is in me. But when it
Okay.
came, I never looked back. So I climbed and climbed and climbed, and there was an instance when Mount Everest base camp happened. It was through
Okay.
Nature Night. Atif informed me once that there was an expedition. It was organized by an international NGO called Child Reach International. It was for a cause in
Uh-huh.
Nepal,
Okay.
and they said we want to do something. This expedition was required to be taken for the children, underprivileged children. It was a
Okay.
Child Reach International NGO
Uh-huh.
for whom we were going to climb. So it was a
Okay.
very exciting challenge for me because that time I was extremely busy in my work life, and
Hmm.
having come across something like this was very exciting for me. So I just took it up, and
Okay.
as soon as I took it up, there was no looking back because yes, there's something about Mount Everest base camp. I would say there's something about Himalaya.
Yes.
So when I came across climbing Himalayas, I think it was a beginning point. So that's how it started in my life. That was I was climbing, I was adventurous. It never happens to, I wouldn't say, anybody who is in the rut of the day. I mean, because you are into it and you wouldn't even value, even the information comes across to you, wouldn't focus on it. So you wouldn't even notice. So once you are ready for the mountain, I mean, it's very weird to say, it's very allegorical that I say that it comes to you. Mountains come to you when you are ready for it. So it happened to me when I was ready.
Okay. So tell me about this very first trip that you took to the mountains, to the Everest base camp.
Wow. It was very exciting. I mean, there was one, I mean, it's like anything that the new thing happens to anybody's life is extremely exciting, right? I mean, that experience is way too different than the later experiences that keep repeating
Yes.
in the same field. So it was exactly like that. That first of all, being completely into a media field was a very different environment and the setup in which I was. I was completely into it, and I mean, it was like a very busy time and life. And coming across something and taking it up when I was the only woman, especially in this whole trip. They were all boys, and nobody even thought about taking it up. When I asked Kasif about how it would be, he was also like not sure how it would be going on. And when I went to the airport and met only boys, I yelled at him that how can like you not tell me that it's only all boys and I'm the only girl. So
Uh,
I mean he had no clue and we had no clue. And I said, okay, let me give it a shot. No problem. But that giving a shot turned out to be a memory of lifetime, frankly. So I tell that nature doesn't disappoint ever. I mean, if you
absolutely.
really live onto nature, no matter what, whether it is going out and just walking or being by yourself, it is not daunting. It might feel daunting, but it's something that will take care of you all the time. It's like that. You have to just surrender to the nature and enjoy it then. So anyway, so that's how it started. I took it up and sorry, where were you? I mean, was there a question about it? I just went
I
into it.
asked you how it happened. How did
Yeah,
Everest Base Camp happen?
yeah. So it was all boys, and then going to the Everest base camp. Even the base camp journey itself is a very unique. So every milestone in it is very unique. So going to the Nepal, first of all, I mean, it's a country which is a neighboring country, but very different culture. You can connect with them, but you still can have a lot to explore. Plus,
Okay.
going closer to the Himalayas has very different. I had before Mount Everest base camp, I had gone to Ladakh. I mean, very a few months back, and that experience opened up the vision that the kind of life that we are living is also a life, and the kind of life that they are living is also a life. So how come we are so stressed and we are so busy and we are like living all the types of the world despite being privileged to have so many things? So I kind of really began to compare myself that I'm happy with that life. I mean, not that I'm looking down at them and saying that, oh, their life is not good. I'm looking up to them, in fact, that their life is so beautiful. They're happy and they're living in the nature, all that. So Himalayas opened myself, and I would feel that anybody who goes there is a lucky person. Somewhere, just take that step and go out. At least go in the hills or go in the mountains and go in the place that is unexplored. Because mountains are not even for even for extremely traveled person. Mountains are rare. It's not about only ordinary women. Mountains are always rare for most of the people world over. I
Yes.
mean, we see many times that people climb in foreign countries a lot. It's not the case. Even that lot is also very limited. So,
Hmm.
mountains are something which will open you up. So that's how began my mindset. When I went to Everest Base Camp, right from being at the airport, looking around, it's all scenery, the kind of people who welcome you, the way they welcome you. It's like culture and the adventure, it intertwined together. So the experiences are very unique as you walk along, going out there, acclimatizing. There's something called acclimatization. So
Yes.
when you go on higher places, you have to kind of take it slowly. You can't just kind of go and just start climbing and your body will accept it. Your body also will not accept until you acclimatize and get a comfort of being there.
True.
So yeah, there were a lot of unique experiences that kind of made me uh, uh, maybe on that, yeah, right from the day one itself, and right on the day when we were at the Delhi airport, I began to accept that, yeah, this is going to be exciting. After yelling at Asif, I think I was all by myself. I said, it's okay. These are strangers, and I'm the only girl. But let me see how it will turn out. That hope turned out to be extremely quick, I would say. So that's
But
how it all
that
began.
that is what is important. The fact that you were, although you were taken aback by the fact that you were the only woman there, only girl there, and but you were willing to take that challenge head on. And
I
said,
had no
okay, ठीक है,
choice.
देखा जाएगा.
I had
Let's,
no choice. I had
yes, you
no
had no
choice.
choice, of
But
course.
yes, I opened up. Yeah.
Yes, but you were willing to take that next step कि चलो, okay, ठीक है, अभी boys है तो क्या करेंगे? Let's move on. I can't just walk
Yeah.
back and say I'm not going to do this expedition. And I think that is one of the traits that anybody who's wanting to conquer the mountains needs to remember, that you have to be willing to take that step forward.
Yeah,
Because
for me, it was literally like this, that it's like पीछे देखो, पीछे न देखा, मुड़ के kind of stuff. And it's like it was that dramatized for me that okay, now I can't look back. Now you have to go straight, and if I'm going straight, then just enjoy. It was like that.
now you have summited 4 of the 7 summits you have mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes, and how does that feel? How does it feel to be, I mean, yes, you're on top of the world, but other than that, what does it feel like to be there?
We don't feel on top of the world when we reach there, because
Oh,
so many days of hard work and fatigue, and it's very different experience. Like everything is so beautiful, but you have no time even to enjoy it. It's like that. You are dead tired. So
okay.
experiences are very paradoxical, frankly. And having climbed 4 of 7 summits was a journey for sure. It was not planned ever. After Everest Base Camp happened, we bonded very well. The group bonded very well. We never expected, in fact, I never expected I'd have new set of friends. And I was always in the set of friends that I was in Bombay, in Ahmedabad. And it was instantly a new set of people who came in my life. And they were like, I could go and share anything with. We opened up and none of us knew about it. Like when we were climbing the hills, we were walking down tough terrains on Mount Everest. It's not an easy trek. Frankly, it's for 15 days and it's almost like climbing a mountain. So going to the base camp of Everest itself is a rigorous climb.
Okay.
And that journey made us cry. Some of us left and midway, and I mean, many a times we froze. We were not many times we felt we were not prepared, or probably we took the steps that were not um, up to the weather. Despite having guide, despite having all the support. So most of the times, what happens is even you have best of the guides, even you are best in the conditions, the ultimate, master card is in the hands of nature. It's like that.
Yes.
So those experiences prepared us for something exciting. And those boys who were there with us, they were really, I mean, up for it. They weren't like, and I always never gel with those who are afraid of something. So when I
Okay.
got this company who are ready to take up anything and who are ready to kind of, even if I was down on some of the days when they were really tough climbs, they would all cheer. And likewise for us to do that for them. So suddenly while climbing, we found that we were humans. I mean, so far we were not humans. I mean, we didn't even have time for us to feel that we were humans. So, those experiences, I mean, I never saw in myself, and I found my own self. I felt that I don't think I knew this side of me, even if I was adventurous, even if since my childhood I was a sports person.
Hmm.
I didn't find out these emotions that I was undergoing while climbing. So, that bond really worked. And that is when we began to start talking about mountains. We said, okay, I mean, very, very flippant way of talking to each other, but at the same time, we had seriousness in us. It was very paradoxical trip. And maybe it is mountain. And that's how mountains are. I mean, you've seen the beauty, but you are from within, you are broken, or you are really working hard. It's like that. So we began to start talking about mountains, and how, and there were lots of story on Mount Everest base camp. People from world over come to
Yes.
climbing, at least till
Yes.
base camp. Till Everest, I mean, beyond that, when one wants to go for Everest, it's a huge preparation for 2 months, and it's like a lifetime.
Yes.
But till Everest Base Camp, a lot of people from different countries come, and you end up bumping onto them, and everybody tells namaste. And it's a very ritualistic thing also, because it has become a legendary place as well to an extent, because this was the south side where we were going from, where Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary also went. So it has become a kind of trail where you end up talking. So lot of stories, like somebody died on this night and this happened, and this was the story, and this captain had come here and this is what happened. And Mallory's story, who climbed this in 1924 and got lost and still till date hasn't been discovered, and all those many types of legendary stories was being talked about. So, we took it as a spirit and we said, yeah, this is very different world altogether. We've not even come here. We've not even experienced this. And it's like right in the India, in the northern part of it, like just across the border. And we
Yes.
also have Himalayas. So that is how we progressed. And we, at the end of the trip, we had already decided that what will be our next destination. So
Wow.
we chose Kilimanjaro, and then it was all like that. So it began like that.
And how are each of I mean, of course, each peak brings with it its own challenges, but how different are all of these from Mount Everest? Just to ask.
No, so Mount Everest you are talking, or Mount Everest base camp you are talking?
I know it's the base camp that you went to,
Yeah.
but the base camp, from what I've heard, even the base camp is quite challenging.
Yeah.
So how the terrain is different, obviously, but how different is the experience at the base camp and at all the other peaks?
See, I tell you, each mountain is a combination of weather and height. So some mountains have extreme weather and the height is lower.
Okay.
And some mountains are height-wise also high. So, when the height is higher, you face altitude sickness.
Yes.
That's the bodily problem.
Mm.
Like beyond certain heights, even if even the seasoned mountaineer gets high altitude sickness. That's watering of lungs. And once the lungs become watered, it's a death situation. It's
Okay.
like you have to come down within a few seconds or minutes, otherwise we never know. So it's a combination of height and the weather. And if you ask me, Mount Everest, unlike people have hyped, it is still very difficult to climb.
Okay.
It's just that there's a lot of support available,
Okay.
and people do take it for granted that okay, वहाँ पे बहुत lines लगती हैं and all that. But
Yes.
from a mountaineer's point of view, it is something which is still difficult to climb. Okay.
Okay.
One of the reason is the mountain itself is tough. Its weather is very unpredictable. Like in 1996, some of the best world's guides perished. I mean, they
Yes.
died. About 12 to 13 people died on one night.
Yes.
So it's about weather. And when we are on the mountains, I know I have experienced myself on Denali. It's one of the toughest mountain, I would say, what I came across. I myself also faced a life and death situation there. So, on mountains, weather is not like you predict that now it's going to be this, and then within 5 minutes, it's going to gradually become like that. It's never going to be like that. You say something and it will become something.
Okay. It's pretty
Oh,
unpredictable.
unpredictable, unhealthy, it can become extremely chilled, and you just can't make out of anything. So, in terms of toughness and in terms of experience of how each of the mountain is, I'm not the person who can, talk about mountains. Mountains are those who are, I mean, I respect all of it. But in terms of, for me, everything turned out to be tougher because even the easiest one, which was Mount Kilimanjaro, we were on the wrong side of climbing. When we
Oh.
climbed, we planned only for 7 days, 6 days, I think. And it was lesser than the required days if you were to climb at pace. So on the last 2 days, when you were actually supposed to rest, we couldn't take rest, and we reached on a camp prior to the summit. And immediately after reaching there, within like 1 or 1.5 hour, we began to start summiting. And that turned out to be very deadly. I mean, deadly in the sense that it turned out to be, we would have quit. We would have quit on that slope when it's considered to be, if you're well prepared, you could have climbed easily.
Yes. So preparation preparation is a must, no matter
And
where you are.
timing as well. On what time do you go? If you are not a lot of deaths or a lot of bad calculations on the mountain happen because one, either you are tired and you still take a risk and go up, um, because you feel that we've worked so hard, so many days have passed, and now it's only one day. So, from a human point of view, it's a very difficult decision to make,
Mm.
to turn around, to turn back. Uh, Most of the people choose not to. Now, having seen a lot of examples of, fatalities, people have begun to take
Caution, yes.
decisions, but it's very difficult a decision to be made. So for us, I mean, I was the only one who told no, I don't want to go up on the summit day, but rest of the members told to go ahead. And therefore, it's the majority many a time. There are a lot of calls are taken on the mountains where majority votes have to be done. Because for guides also, it becomes very difficult who to
Yes.
prioritize.
Mm.
So they of course take their own decisions, but they also ask
Mm.
those who are climbers. So yes, so Kilimanjaro turned out to be difficult for me. In general, it is not as difficult. The mountains like Aconcagua in South America and Denali on North America are really very tough. Before going there, I took a lot of technical training. I did basic mountaineering course. I went for 1 month training in Nehru Institute, and even for Denali, I did the advanced training because it all requires highly technical rope training, snow climbing, um, lot of things. Like those are the mountains where avalanches can come. You can go below, right below it. There can't be anybody. So you have to be self-dependent even in the matters of death.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I remember that when I was going on the Denali, I didn't tell anybody, but when my parents came to see me off in Bombay, they came from Ahmedabad, and uh, so when we were leaving from Bombay for Delhi, I showed them my certificates bag. I said, "Ye mera certificate bag hai." I didn't say anything subtly, but my mom was saying, "Why you are showing me? You've not even in your whole life showed us anything."
Eh,
It's like that. But somewhere, it's a lot of preparation and discipline. I believe in a lot of discipline and a lot of preparation before venturing out, because it's a responsibility that we carry when we go in the mountain.
absolutely.
So that's, I
Absolutely.
mean, no, it has to be there.
Yes.
So yeah, so those were, I mean, Everest, Aconcagua, and Denali are very tough. And Denali, of course, technically is even tougher than Everest. It's something, I mean, the climb rate of it is much lower than even
Lower than.
Everest. Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It is.
Yes.
So that's how it is.
Wow. So
And it's
now
in
from
Alaska.
yes. So there's
It's in
already
Alaska.
gold.
No, I'm saying it's in Alaska. So going to the Alaska, and I mean, it was very different. Denali was, it's like sky and the land mix, and you can't differentiate what is sky, what is land, because everything is white out. I mean,
Wow.
it's very difficult
I can
to
imagine.
climb.
I can imagine. So you have already shared such wonderful insights. One is preparation, one is taking on challenges head on. The other important thing that you've spoken about is knowing when to stop yourself, listen to your body, listen. And this, I think, applies immaterial of the fact whether you're a mountaineer or, you're a regular person, because even in day to day life, we women have this tendency to keep pushing ourselves,
Yeah.
but I think somewhere you need to listen to your body. And if your body says slow down, you slow down.
No, it's
There
a
is,
right signal. In fact, having gone in the nature, I've realized that it's the perfect and a timely signal that our body and the mind and the body and the soul gives, frankly.
yes,
So if you are in indecision that no, I can keep pushing, ask your heart and mind and balance it out. Because
yes,
even if your body can push, you have to give a reason with your heart and with your mind and say what is practical.
yes,
And that's the right thing to do. It's always the right thing to do.
absolutely.
Because I think that's the God signal, frankly.
Yes,
It says that now stop. I've given you mind to think, I've given you heart to feel. Now balance it, because that's where I live and you live. I made you live there, not beyond
yes,
that. Because that's
yes,
not in your control,
ab-
So yeah.
absolutely. Now, Dimple, tell me, from the highest peaks of a mountain to the sea, how is that? What drew you to the sea? How drew you to swimming?
See, like I said, I think in my life, sports is a lot. I mean, it's all around all the time since my childhood. Just that it all came across and I took it up. So it's not that I've handed over my mountaineering to my swimming, and it's never happens. I'm a mountain
Uh-huh.
girl and I'm a water girl both. The, the only thing is I don't like spending my time gossiping or meeting a lot of more people. Therefore, I found an alternative of spending my time with my own self. That's the thing, and I have really optimized it in the best possible way. And that's
Awesome.
how all these things have happened. So, had I liked meeting a lot of people, had I liked going out and partying, had I liked going out and have, even I'm not good at eating a lot of nice, delicious foods like our
Okay.
nature night gang, we all, and I really like seeing everybody enjoying food. My brother enjoys food a lot. So had I had that also, I would have probably ended up spending more time outside with, socializing more. But because I have in me that I really like adventures and sports and all of that, um, it was natural. When I used to play tennis, I used to swim, I used to cycle also, all of that. So I keep doing even now. I run a lot. So all of those are there in my life, even now, a lot. But at one point, I realized that can I play tennis more or can I play swim? Can I do swimming more? And I decided that swimming is something that I can really do it at the pace of my life.
Yes.
I wanted, there's no pressure. I mean, it was more like feeling your own self and continuing it. But then again, it happened like how I am that when I began to swim, I just like didn't look back. So in swimming happened like that. And when I really regularly practiced and started training, my coach told me that there was a sea swimming competition. So my first competition wasn't a pool competition. My first competition was a sea swimming. And
Oh,
when I jumped from the ship to the into the sea, I mean, it was an experience I had never had in my life. I told if I'm going to die right now, nobody's going to find out. I mean, even if I was a swimmer, I felt like that. And I told, please lift me. And I was that scared. And I really didn't swim that competition. I came back and I
uh-huh.
prepared myself for a year. I said, how can I come over that fear of
Yes.
swimming in the sea? Because that time I wasn't even, after that, I swam a lot of seas and, long distances in the sea. But the first time experience told me that sea is vast, it is huge.
Mm.
And when you fall in the sea, you don't see anything but water all around. You don't even see people. You don't see anything. So that
Same.
experience was very daunting because the sea is what sea is. We, I wasn't knowing that there is the bottom of the sea and you can go down and see some bottom. At that time, I wasn't aware that there's a bottom in the sea also. Later on, I did a lot of scuba diving and I did sea corals and all. But at that time, when I jumped for the first time, I was not aware. I knew only one thing that if I stop swimming, I'm going to drown. And in this whole planet, nobody's going to save me. I mean,
Oh,
it was that kind of a feeling. So yeah,
but then
from that feeling,
yes, again, see, this is something you've again given us a learning over here. The fact that the first time you jumped, then you said no, nothing doing, and you came back up,
yeah,
and then you prepared for a year. I mean, that is something which takes, to realize for yourself, that self-realization, and to work on that self-realization, knowing that yes, I cannot do this now is good, but what of it?
yeah, yeah.
So you practiced, you overcame that. You took a year, but you came back. I
Yes,
think
like
that
I
is
said, yeah, like I said, this right signal is your mind, body, and soul. Compare
absolutely
each of it. If one is in imbalance, you'll have to ask another one. Ask your mind. If your body is telling that okay, I want to do it, and at no cost I'm going to do it, ask your mind and ask your heart. Just balance it
absolutely
out and judge it from that point. Otherwise, you're going to be a reckless person. And I really hate reckless people. I mean, everybody on the mountains and many times, like there's a news today that member of a family, 5 members are swept away in
swept away
Lonavala
in the
today.
bushy dam. Yes,
And I saw them in like routine uh, dresses, like even clothing.
yes,
So somewhere, I mean,
yes,
mountains require preparation. Even going into the wild require preparation and a mindset. Suppose something happens at the last minute, one has to really be alert. and come out before time. It's very important.
Absolutely.
It's very
Absolutely. Absolutely. It has been so wonderful talking to you, Dimple. There are so many more things that I want to ask you, but then time is
yeah. Yes.
so before we wind up, is there, I generally ask my guests to give me some words of inspiration, of thought, to the women audience that are listening to us. So anything that you would want to leave our women with.
They themselves are superwoman. I mean, women are superwomen. But I would like to tell that there's nothing like women or men, frankly. So they have to recognize their own self that there's nothing like women. We are like, there's something like women and men for the God to look after. But for us, we are human beings and we are the same. So, they have to recognize their own selves. Once that barrier is crossed, then I don't think there's anything differentiating between them. And so that's what I believe in, and even people around me are like
Awesome.
that. Yeah.
Awesome. So finding, knowing yourself, knowing your potential, and aiming to reach that potential. I think that
Yeah.
is what I would want from you. Thank you so much, Dimple. This has
Thank
been
you, Wendy.
wonderful, wonderful talking to you. And those of you who are listening in, Dimple has been talking about nature nights a lot. So nature nights is an
May I
adventure.
introduce?
Yeah, please, you go ahead.
So, in my whole life,